FedEx is sued by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The federal government awards $251 million to prepare people with disabilities for competitive integrated employment. This and more on today's episode of the Disability News Report.
This is the Disability News Report with host Arthur Aston.
A lawsuit was recently filed against FedEx by the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The lawsuit claims that FedEx violated the Americans with Disabilities Act by requiring employees with medical restrictions to take unpaid medical leave until they were 100% healed. Even though employees could perform essential functions of the job with or without reasonable accommodations, FedEx had the employees take a medical leave of absence. It is alleged that by doing this, FedEx violated the ADA because the company did not offer to provide accommodations to these employees. By FedEx having a 100% healed policy for employees placed on unpaid medical leave, this meant that employees could only return to work when they no longer had medical restrictions. This is an issue because it potentially excludes individuals who have disabilities. The EEOC said in a press release that under the ADA, employees have an obligation to explore reasonable accommodations and to not screen out qualified individuals with disabilities who can perform their jobs. 4 years ago, FedEx Ground was sued and agreed to pay $3.3 million because they failed to accommodate employees with hearing impairments. Lawsuits like these are important to highlight because while a company may deny an employee's reasonable accommodation request, they are required by law under the Americans with Disabilities Act to examine options to grant reasonable accommodations for employees who may need them. We will be providing an update on this lawsuit as new details become available. Long COVID rate among disabled people is double that of able-bodied individuals. As recently as August 31st, 2024, there were very high levels of COVID-19 in 23 states and territories in the United States. 22 states and territories of the United States reported that high levels of COVID-19 diagnoses were present. A report recently confirmed that people who had disabilities before being diagnosed with COVID are now experiencing more symptoms of long COVID than those who did not have disabilities before being diagnosed with COVID-19. A report recently confirmed that those who had disabilities before being diagnosed with COVID-19 are now experiencing more symptoms of long COVID than those who did not have disabilities before being diagnosed with COVID-19. The American Journal of Public Health reports a study that recently was conducted. This study compared long COVID rates among 2,262 disabled participants in the KU National Survey on Health and Disability and 2,725 non-disabled participants in the Centers for Disease Control Prevention's Household Pulse Survey. The results of the comparison between the two groups showed that 40% of the disabled participants reported having long COVID symptoms versus only 18 of the non-disabled participants who reported experiencing long COVID symptoms. Of those participants with disabilities, long COVID was found to be more common among those experiencing chronic illness and mental illness, with sensory disabilities like blindness and deafness having the lowest rate of long COVID symptoms. As mentioned at the beginning of this story, COVID-19 continues to be diagnosed around the country and around the world in high numbers. This article emphasizes the fact that those living with disabilities have greater barriers to care, whether it is transportation, cost, or other challenges. The disabled community remains at risk for contracting COVID-19 and experiencing long COVID symptoms in higher numbers than those who are not disabled. Our next story is the United States government awards $251 million to prepare people with disabilities for good jobs. The federal government, through the United States Department of Education, recently awarded $251 million to 27 higher education institutions and other agencies to assist people living with disabilities having access to higher paying jobs. The money was awarded through a 5-year grant given by the Disability Innovation Fund Program, DIF. The DIF program prepares individuals for competitive integrated employment, enabling youth and adults with disabilities to be paid good wages while gaining employment in some of today's most in-demand fields. U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona notes the importance of providing additional opportunities for those living with disabilities that promote competitive integrated employment so that they can be financially independent. Competitive integrated employment, or CIE, is any work that is full-time or part-time, work that is compensated at or above minimum wage and comparable to the customary rate paid by the employer to employees without disabilities, performing similar duties with similar training and experience, work that receives the same level of benefits provided to other employees without disabilities in similar positions, at a location where employees interact with other individuals without disabilities, presents opportunities for advancement similar to other employees without disabilities in similar positions. For these grants that were recently awarded, over 200 applications were received. The projects must fit within one of the following topics: broadening access to advanced technology careers and creating a 21st century workforce of youth and/or adults with disabilities leading to CIE. Innovative applications of advanced technology to support youth and/or adults with disabilities leading to CIE. Justice-involved youth with disabilities, including early intervention and reintegration from the juvenile justice system to the community leading to CIE. Early intervention and workforce reintegration strategies for youth and/or adults with acquired disabilities that lead to CIE. Early intervention and workforce reintegration strategies for disconnected youth and/or disconnected adults with disabilities that lead to CIE. Field initiated, under which applicants address innovative topic areas not otherwise included in this priority or combine 2 or more topic areas into one application. Those who received the grant represent 16 states, the District of Columbia, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Islands, 13 institutions of higher education, 9 nonprofits, 4 state agencies, 1 institution of higher education or a special institution. Our final story today is a follow-up to the Paralympic Games that were recently held in Paris. A record 15.4 million total viewers watched the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games across all NBC Universal platforms. The 2024 Paralympic Games were recently held in Paris, France. This coverage of the Paralympics was shown across multiple platforms owned by NBC Universal, including CNBC, NBC, the USA Network, Peacock, and Telemundo. NBC Universal streamed 1,500 hours of the 22 Paralympic sports during the 12 days of the Paralympic Games. Coverage on NBC averaged a total audience delivery of 1.2 million viewers, which is up 31% from the 2021 Paralympic Games held in Tokyo. Live weekday coverage on the USA Network was up 113% over the comparable Tokyo coverage. Led by Peacock, the 2024 Paris Paralympic Games delivered 207 million streaming minutes. It has been reported that 15.4 million viewers watched the Paralympic Games this year. Primetime coverage that was on NBC on September 1st from 7 to 9 p.m. averaged 1.8 million viewers, making it the second most watched Paralympic telecast on record. The program included highlights of the opening ceremony and the first 2 days of the competition. Toyota was the presenting sponsor for the broadcast coverage of the 2024 Paralympic Games, and NBC Universal reported that there was a 60% increase in advertisement sales compared to the 2021 Tokyo Paralympic Games. Team USA won a total of 105 medals at this year's Paralympic Games, with 36 gold medals, 42 silver medals, and 27 bronze medals. Team USA came in third in the medal count behind Team China in first place and Team Great Britain in second place. We are looking forward to the 2028 Paralympic Games taking place in Los Angeles, California, and we will keep you up to date between now and then on all of the great things that Team USA is doing as they prepare for the next Paralympic Games in 4 years. We thank you for watching this episode of the Disability News Report.
This is the Disability News Report with host Arthur Aston.